Respected Honorable Chancellor, Pro-Chancellor, Vice-Chancellor, Deans, Heads, colleagues, our guest parents and dear students, a very good afternoon to all of you. On behalf of Integral University and on my own behalf, I, Dr. Piyush Charan, Assistant Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, take the honor of extending a warm welcome to all of you as we have gathered here for the online orientation program for UG and PG students. Our journey started with the progressive vision of our Honorable Chancellor and founder Professor S.W. Akhtar. It would not have been possible to travel so far without his guiding light. We are indebted for him for his untiring and timely support. At the outset, I must congratulate you for choosing Integral University for higher studies, and we are happy that you have made the decision to join us at Integral University. The university offers a good ambience, infrastructure, mentoring, and an all-round development conducive of achieving excellence in life and higher education. We are happy to have with us Dr. Syed Hassan Saeed, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. It is an honor for me to invite Professor Hassan Saeed. He is an eminent educationist with strong fervor to serve academics, as he is well-accomplished academician known for his exceptional leadership qualities and vision. With these words, I request him to address and inspire the students. Thank you.
Welcome you all to the orientation program of the department. I congratulate you on choosing the university and programs of the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering. The journey of the institution has started in 1994 under the able guidance and supervision of Professor Syed Waseem Akhtar, Honorable Chancellor of Integral University. The department has started with the Integral Institute of Technology in 1998. Today, alumni of the department are working as a scientist in reputed institutions like ISRO, DRDO, and many other industries and civil services. The department makes tireless efforts for all personality development and learning of students through our teaching learning process and exposure in participation in conferences, seminar, co-curricular personality development programs, etc. Graduates of the department find career opportunities in various fields including software, telecommunication, artificial intelligence, machine learning, automobile, security, surveillance, etc. Nowadays, electronic companies, all the field of life, no field is untouched by electronics. The department has learned and experienced faculty members, lab staff. The department has well-equipped labs. All facilities are available. So once again, I congratulate and welcome to all of you, and congratulations for choosing the Department of Electronics and Communication, and I assure you of the best learning experience and vast opportunities awaiting you in the future. Thank you very much. All the best.
Welcome to you all in this excellent university. I am Professor Tahseen Usmani. Dear students, I am your Dean Engineering. Also, I am Chief Proctor of this university. We have got excellent well educated and disciplined faculty in this university. That way you are lucky, you are going to get the guidance, patronage and mentorship of best available teachers. I am sure you will grasp and absorb maximum knowledge and other life skills from them during your stay here in forthcoming years. You must take maximum from them, enrich your knowledge and elevate your life. I am sure you have got shining dreams in your eyes to achieve and win success in all walks of life. For the fulfillment of this pious desire, our full support, our heartfelt du'aएं, our ashirwad will ever remain with you. But you must realize that self-control is fountainhead of all sorts of progress and prosperity. You must achieve that. More than 400 years ago, a wonderful philosopher and social scientist summed a great universal truth in the following words: knowledge is power. These words are much more relevant in this age of competition, instant information and fast evolving technology. Excellent education is the real solution of today's competitive world. Success is all about being one step ahead of others in competition. Proper education plays most important role to attain success and to enable us to overcome our mindsets. Thus, a new vibrating and dynamic personality takes birth. Thus, a new vibrating personality emerges. We are sure that the academically open atmosphere in this university will certainly develop you in a young, dynamic, positive and wonderful personality, wonderful person ready to face challenges of professional and other aspects of life. Dear students, we have got excellent lab facilities, excellent opportunities and highly respected and reputed professionals from industry. A great ocean of opportunities is waiting for you. Today you will have a bird eye view of the university and have glimpse of the wonderful miracles which have taken place in the name of Integral University during short duration of yesteryears. My best wishes to you for an excellent, vibrating, dynamic, lively future in this university and thereafter. Thanks and best wishes to you all.
Every year, the world uses 35 billion barrels of oil. This massive scale of fossil fuel dependence pollutes the Earth, and it won't last forever. Scientists estimate that we've consumed about 40% of the world's oil. According to present estimates, at this rate, we'll run out of oil and gas in 50 years or so, and in about a century for coal. On the flip side, we have abundant sun, water, and wind. These are renewable energy sources, meaning that we won't use them up over time. What if we could exchange our fossil fuel dependence for an existence based solely on renewables? We've pondered that question for decades, and yet renewable energy still only provides about 13% of our needs. That's because reaching 100% requires renewable energy that's inexpensive and accessible. This represents a huge challenge, even if we ignore the politics involved and focus on the science and engineering. We can better understand the problem by understanding how we use energy. Global energy use is a diverse and complex system, and the different elements require their own solutions. But for now, we'll focus on two of the most familiar in everyday life: electricity and liquid fuels. Electricity powers blast furnaces, elevators, computers, and all manner of things in homes, businesses, and manufacturing. Meanwhile, liquid fuels play a crucial role in almost all forms of transportation. Let's consider the electrical portion first. The great news is that our technology is already advanced enough to capture all that energy from renewables, and there's an ample supply. The sun continuously radiates about 173 quadrillion watts of solar energy at the Earth, which is almost 10,000 times our present needs. It's been estimated that a surface that spans several 100,000 kilometers would be needed to power humanity at our present usage levels. So why don't we build that? Because there are other hurdles in the way, like efficiency and energy transportation. To maximize efficiency, solar plants must be located in areas with lots of sunshine year-round, like deserts. But those are far away from densely populated regions, where energy demand is high. There are other forms of renewable energy we could draw from, such as hydroelectric, geothermal, and biomasses, but they also have limits based on availability and location. In principle, a connected electrical energy network with power lines crisscrossing the globe would enable us to transport power from where it's generated to where it's needed. But building a system on this scale faces an astronomical price tag. We could lower the cost by developing advanced technologies to capture energy more efficiently. The infrastructure for transporting energy would also have to change drastically. Present-day power lines lose about 6 to 8% of the energy they carry because wire material dissipates energy through resistance. Longer power lines would mean more energy loss. Superconductors could be one solution. Such materials can transport electricity without dissipation. Unfortunately, they only work if cooled to low temperatures, which requires energy and defeats the purpose. To benefit from that technology, we'd need to discover new superconducting materials that operate at room temperature. And what about the all-important oil-derived liquid fuels? The scientific challenge there is to store renewable energy in an easily transportable form. Recently, we've gotten better at producing lithium-ion batteries, which are lightweight and have high energy density. But even the best of these store about 2.5 megajoules per kilogram. That's about 20 times less than the energy in 1 kilogram of gasoline. To be truly competitive, car batteries would have to store much more energy without adding cost. The challenges only increase for bigger vessels like ships and planes. To power a cross-Atlantic flight for a jet, we'd need a battery weighing about 1,000 tons. This too demands a technological leap towards new materials, higher energy density, and better storage. One promising solution would be to find efficient ways to convert solar into chemical energy. This is already happening in labs, but the efficiency is still too low to allow it to reach the market. To find novel solutions, we'll need lots of creativity, innovation, and powerful incentives. The transition towards all renewable energies is a complex problem involving technology, economics, and politics. Priorities on how to tackle this challenge depend on the specific assumptions we have to make when trying to solve such a multifaceted problem. But there's ample reason to be optimistic that we'll get there. Top scientific minds around the world are working on these problems and making breakthroughs all the time. And many governments and businesses are investing in technologies that harness the energy all around us.
Hello everyone, myself Sadav from the class of 2013, welcoming you all in Integral University where dreams come true, even a crazy one. I am a product owner and senior embedded developer in a company named TE Connectivity, an American-based company in a IoT product domain. I graduated from branch of Electronics and Communications. It's really a great journey, a journey of a life. You can say a golden years of my life since 2009 to 2013 and even after. Before going on, I really thanks to everyone from the IU, those who are be with me in every episodes of my life. It's a really grateful. Integral University, a small world of dreams, dreams of many ones, where learning is just not a matter of degree and number, where you actually groom your innovations, your thinking into a new horizon. I started my career as a research associate in the field of embedded. Since then, I mainly work on an IoT product, which started from my college days since I joined Robotics Society of Integral University. Then after my final year project, which becomes later a successful product in the market. A smart plug by which you can control anything by an app throughout the world via internet. I really thanks one of my senior, Mr. Jaya Ahmed, who showed me the world of electronics and embedded and grow my interest in that. In a small career, I truly realize learning comes by implementations, which is taught by great teacher of EC of Integral University. For that, I really thanks to Mr. Hassan Saeed, Naimur Rahman, Shalendra sir, and many more. What I truly says, we have a great profound faculty here that always find a better ways to enhance the experience in classroom. Hugely ranging opportunity for student leadership and extracurricular activities, and a gorgeous residential campus supported by great staff. This is a place where you learn not only academics, but live the moment of learning, not only your degree, but the soul of innovations. What I learned is uncountable. Teacher supports not only in your academics, they groom you to deal with the life in the graduation, but also thereafter. They support you, guide you, and innovate you in so many paths. What I truly get, let me tell you one thing. Integral University is not only having a great teachers, but also infrastructure. Infrastructure mainly in labs. You can saw it via one of the special feature of Integral University, I think a lab with a full of tools and gadgets, where I learned the theories to implement into practicals, where I learned so many things. Now I am working on a product of industrial development of IoT. I lead a team of great minds of IIT and NIT. So finally, once again, I welcome you the class of 2024 and congratulate on the new life that will begin here.
carrying forward the program, uh, may I now introduce to you your UG program coordinator, Mr. Zohaib Hassan Khan, and your PG program coordinator, Dr. Imran Ullah Khan. So, okay, so this is a brief introduction about the course and the ordinance. Like we have the program objectives here. It's to provide quality student-centered education and equal opportunities to one and all. To provide academic environment to facilitate better teaching learning process, to provide opportunities for development of personal and professional qualities of students and staff, fostering innovative and creative education leadership. Program objectives. Students after successful completion of the course will acquire an ability to apply knowledge in mathematics, science, and engineering subjects. An ability to identify, formulate, and solve engineering problems. An ability to design and conduct experiments to interpret data and analyze the results. Ability to design system components or processes to satisfy the needs of the society within realistic constraints such as economical, social, ethical, health, safety, and manufacturing. An ability to understand the need and engage in lifelong learning process. The scope of electronics and communication engineering is huge because modern technology makes extensive usage of electronic chips, transistors, fiber optics, etc. Amongst government agencies, Steel Authority of India Limited, SAIL, Civil Aviation Department, Indian Railways, Hindustan and HL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, Indian Engineering Services, Indian Oil Corporation Limited, MTNL and BSNL are some of the notable organizations who hire graduate engineers from this branch in significant numbers. Among others, we have Tata Consultancy Services, also one of our top recruiters, and Infosys as part of the IT industry. So coming back to these slides, attendance is a must, very much important aspect that you need to follow. We have certain guidelines that you need to follow that has been given to us from UGC and AICTE. The attendance of students shall be written from, so you have to various courses and likewise, since you are in the first year, you are automatically already pre-registered in the various subjects that you're going to study in the coming days. Each student is normally required to attend all the lectures, tutorials, lab, and studio classes. However, a minimum attendance of 75% will be necessary. So, in any case, you will have to maintain an attendance of at least 75% in all the subjects, be it lab or be it theory classes. So, the dean of the concerned faculty may condone the absence on medical reasons further up to a maximum of 15%. So, any medical reasons, any other issues you may come across, so you can be exempted, but only up to 15% of the attendance only. Attendance on account of participation in the prescribed functions of NCC, NSS, National Service, Social Service, inter-university sports and functions, educational tools, fieldwork, training, and curricular or co-curricular activities sponsored by the university shall be credited to aggregate, provided the attendance record duly countersigned by the teacher in charge is sent to the academy. So, whenever you are involved in any of these activities like NCC, or you are on a social service mission with the NSS department, and you are participating in some sports events and functions and educational tools. So for that period of time, your course coordinators, you have to apply to them, to your course coordinators, about that you will be absent in this duration, and you have to give me a reason for your absence, and that will be updated. That attendance will be given to you if we deem it fit as suitable, and that percentage of attendance will be given to you. The academic section will consolidate the attendance record of the lectures and practical, etc. So since we are having online lectures at the convenience of your places, most of the attendance will be online. So you are going to access your attendance and your course material from the ILI portal that has been created, the Integral Learning Initiative, which will be taken care of in the later slides from here. Detention policy. This is a very important for all those who are like backbenchers and latecomers and absent, the students who show absenteeism in the classes. A student who fails to achieve a minimum attendance of 75% shall not be allowed to appear at the eighth semester or annual examinations and shall be deemed to have been detained. So you may or may not be detained if you do not maintain 75% attendance. So that is why attendance is a very important aspect of your student life. Okay. However, under very special circumstances, the Honorable Vice Chancellor, in the consultation with the deans of the faculty, has the power to amend or condone all or any of the above said clauses or the prescribed percentage in the interest of the academics and the university. Okay, so let me discuss about the ordinance of your BTech course first, and we'll see. More or less, BTech and MTech have the same ordinance today for the first year candidates. So even if there are MTech students, they can also listen to this carefully. Total duration of the course shall be 4 years. Similarly, for MTech, it will be for 2 years. Each year comprising of 2 semesters. Each semester shall have normally 90 working days or as prescribed by the university from time to time. A candidate who has failed in the first year twice shall not be allowed to appear to studies further. So if somehow you are getting backlogs of more than 5 or more than 6 subjects and you are getting a YB a year back, then in that case only 2 years, 2 consecutive years you can have that thing. Otherwise will be your candidature will be cancelled. A candidate who has not appeared or has not been permitted to appear in the examination of first and second semester of the first year may be allowed to appear for 1 more year on the approval of the Vice Chancellor. So this procedure is also you have to apply that if somehow you have missed your first or second semester end sem examinations, then you have to take special permission from the Vice Chancellor. You have to give a valid reason for your absenteeism. Okay. The maximum time allowed for a candidate for completing the BTech effectively. First year candidate, first semester, you to complete your 4 years plus 3 years extra. Otherwise, I have such candidates who have done BTech in 7 years. So be very careful with all your subjects, with all your learnings, so that you can study well and give the exams and pass all the subjects on time. If a candidate at any stage of his or her study is found unable to complete it within the set time, he or she shall not be allowed to continue the studies further. So there is a term called not fit for technical education, NFTE. That will be applied on you and you cannot pursue a BTech course thereafter. Your candidature will be cancelled. So you must keep in mind that only 7 years, maximum 7 years are there to complete your BTech, or for MTech it is 2 years, and for part-time MTech students it is 3 years. Okay, so just be like this, that minimum duration is this. Okay. Moving forward, we have the credit system now, which have been implemented in the year 2016, and since then we are having each BTech program will have a curriculum in which every course will be assigned certain credits reflecting its weight and contact periods per week as given below. So 1 lecture is 1 credit. 1 tutorial period is also 1 credit. So what is the difference between lecture period and tutorial period? Lecture period will be like your subject teachers will be giving you a lecture. That will be counted as 1 credit. And the tutorial class is where you can ask questions, or you can discuss numerical problems, you can discuss other problems. It's like a class where you can, remedial class sort of thing, where you can share some of your mistakes and the teachers can help you rectify that. Okay. Then 1 practical period will be 0.5 credits. So half credit will be given for one practical period. So in a week you have 2 periods, or as per the course there are 4 periods to a maximum. In addition to theory and laboratory courses, there may be other courses such as seminar, colloquium, project, etc., which will be assigned credits as per their contribution in the program without regard to contact periods. The minimum credit required for award of a BTech degree is 200. This is normally divided into theory courses, tutorials, laboratory courses, seminars, and projects in duration of 8 semesters. So the scheme of examination will be as follows. Each course will be evaluated out of 100 marks. The courses will normally have the following components of evaluation. Theory subjects, 1 exam per unit of the syllabus, maximum marks 40. So for a theory course, we have like the continuous assessment is divided into 2 parts. 1 exam per unit. So you have 5 units in a particular course. So you will have 5 unit test exams that will be consolidated into a total of 40 marks. Then you have 2 assignments, each of 10 marks. Then you have a quiz, 2 quiz, each of 5 marks. And the totality will be averaged marks will be 10, 5, and 5. So 20 marks of your these quiz attendance and assignments and attendance. And then this 40 and 20 makes it 60. So total 60 marks are your internal or continuous assessment marks. Then your end semester examination shall be of maximum marks 40, and you will be just like, since we are having, due to this pandemic year, we are having online examination. So your online exam will be there. All questions will be based on the Bloom's taxonomy. Different levels of Bloom's taxonomy is there, and you will be evaluated on basis of that. Every question will have different weightage, different difficulty levels, and you will have to like prepare yourself accordingly so that you get good marks. So that paper will be divided of 40 marks. Okay, coming back to lab courses, 2 Viva Voce tests, Viva Voce and test will be there. Like Viva Voce will be of 20 marks and test will be of 20 marks, so total of 40 marks. Then the lab and will be giving you marks accordingly. Then quiz, then there will be a quiz for the lab as well. That will be of 5 marks, and then attendance also carries 5 marks. So suppose if you are having 75% attendance more, you will be awarded 5 marks. So since minimum marks is this. Practical exam will be there, since again I'm saying because of this pandemic year, we will having online examination in the form of quizzes and MCQs, and then Viva Voce, that will be also 40 marks. So 40, again 20, and then 40 makes it 100. For final year students, we have project, seminar, that ways, and reports will be there. Presentation Viva Voce is there. Example for CA of theory subjects like unit exam, 1 exam per unit, that I've already explained. Like for TA, okay, so assignments will be there, 2 assignments and 2 quizzes will be there. So we'll take an average of both the tests and average of both the quizzes, and so we'll evaluate them out of 10 and quizzes also out of 5. Attendance will be 5 and maximum marks are somehow that makes it to a 60. Okay, so just keep it in mind. Okay, so this is the proposed guidelines for unit exam 1. Suppose UE1 it is written, unit exam 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Since you have 5 units, so you will be given 5 unit tests you have to attempt, and that will be averaged, and out of 25 it will be averaged. These marks will be averaged out of 25, and then your CA, continuous assessment, will be of 15 marks. Okay. So since 60-40, we are using 60-40 as a bifurcation. So 40 marks will be given to you in the continuous assessment. That was earlier. Now we have the guidelines is for 60-40. Like 60 will be your continuous assessment and 40 will be your end sem examination. So the heads of passing continuous assessment and end semester examination, two heads majorly, continuous assessment and end semester examination, should be two separate heads for passing. A learner will be declared pass if he or she secures at least 50% and 35% marks in each heads of passing. Or if he or she fails in a continuous assessment but secures 50% or more in the total continuous assessment plus end semester examination in that course. So suppose 35% marks you have secured out of like this, so that will be your passing percentage. Now the division, how the division is being calculated. The division will be awarded as under first division with honors, that is 75% and above. So if you score 75% and above, you will be given first division with honors. Okay. So the next is first division, that is 60% and above. So 60% but less than 75% will get you a first division degree. Okay. Then second division will be less than 60%. So if you score less than 60%, a second division will be awarded. And likewise. Carry forward of marks. A learner who passes in the continuous assessment but fails in the end semester examination of the course shall reappear for the end semester examination of that course. However, his or her marks of the internal assessment shall be carried over, and he or she shall be entitled for grade obtained by him or her from passing. So, suppose there are two heads. I have already told: continuous assessment and end semester. Suppose you pass in your continuous assessment, but you failed in your end semester. So you will be given an opportunity to appear in the end semester examination again as carryover papers, but we will give you one like your continuous assessment marks will be carried forward. You don't have to appear in that again. Okay, so that is the part of the ordinance. A learner who passes in the end semester examination but fails in the continuous assessment of the course shall reappear for the continuous assessment of that course. So either of the cases there, like if you pass in the end semester examination but you fail somehow in the continuous assessment, okay, so Mr. Marks to a maximum of total 10 marks. So in a particular year, suppose you are having a backlog in which somehow you need only 10 more marks to clear the entire semester. So the entire year. These marks will be for entire year. 10 marks grace will be given for the entire year. So you need to be very careful about these grace marks also. This grace marks can be awarded only in one subject. Okay. Distributed in maximum 4 subjects. So this can be included into 4 subjects, practical and papers. Suppose you need 2 marks in one subject, 2 marks in one subject, 1 marks in other subject practical, and 1 mark in project. So total of 10 marks can be given to clear all these 4 subjects. Okay. In total 10. It should not cross beyond 10. Okay. Each academic year, provided he or she can be declared to have passed the academic year by the award of these marks. So if these marks is awarded, if you are passing only, then only this marks will be given. If you are not passing, then these marks will not be awarded to you. Okay. Scrutiny. Scrutiny shall be allowed in only theory papers for which the candidate has to apply within 15 days after declaration of the semester result. So as soon as your semester result is declared, you are given a window period of 15 days in which you have to apply for all for the scrutiny. If somehow you feel like your paper is not evaluated correctly, or you have some totaling errors are there, because it's a human error, it can happen. So you have to apply within 15 days, and this intimation will be given to you through mails and all that these forms are available. Okay, so re-evaluation is not permitted. If you think a particular question is wrongly checked and less marks is awarded, then this is not permitted. A teacher has his or her whole rights to uh, justify that, and it should be justified that the marks are correct. Okay. Until then, the revaluation is not done. Admit card. You have to compulsory wear or carry your admit card during your examinations. Okay. Okay. We have some grade points performance like here. Percentage of marks 85 and above. That is O. That is outstanding. And then you are awarded a CGPI of 10. So we are having a 10-pointer scale of CGPI, semester grade point, and semester grade point is SGPA, and cumulative grade point is evaluated also on the 10-pointer scale. So if we go from 80 to 85%, then it is an A grade. It's called an excellent grade. 75 to 79.99 or 80% up to is very good. 65 to 74 is C grade, good. 60% to 65%, to less than 65% is D grade, that is fair. 55 to less than 60% is average E grade. 41 to 55, less than 55 is pass E grade, and less than 41 is F, that is fail, and you are awarded 0 credits on basis of that. Okay. A learner who remains absent in any form of evaluation or examination, letter grade allocated to him or her should be AB, or absent, and corresponding grade point is 0. So corresponding grade point for that is 0. He or she should reappear for the said evaluation examination in due course. Cancellation of admission. The admission of a student at any stage shall be cancelled if he or she is not found qualified as per AICTE, state government norms and guidelines, or the eligibility criteria prescribed by the university. So, like if some people get their certificates forged, they are involved into some kind of forgery, then what happens is that their candidature may be cancelled. Okay, so you must be careful while applying to this university, and I'm sure when you have taken an admission, you have fulfilled or furnished all the relevant documents in original form you have shown, and then only you must have got a provisional or a confirmed admission. He or she is found unable to complete the course within the stipulated time or as prescribed in clause 5. So if there is also a clause that 7 years, minimum years, and 4 people graduate, but if somehow some test learner candidature may be cancelled by the admission from the admissions if you cross that limit of 7 years. Okay. He or she is found involved in creating indiscipline in the university. So the candidature can also be cancelled if you are involved in some of the activities of indiscipline, or as reported by the proctor of the university, Chief Proctor, Professor Dr. T. Usmani, and the assistant proctor of your department is Mr. Zoe Vasan Khan. So you must be very careful about these two persons, and you must not indulge in any kind of indiscipline or ragging activity, or any sort of like that activities that you can have that proctor can be put you charge for it. Okay, so you must be very disciplined throughout your duration of study. Okay. He or she is found involved in any criminal case or has given any false statement. So if you have been in any criminal case, or you are being like subjudiced, or your case is there, or you are like being convicted of some crime, then in that case also the university is bound to cancel your admission. So that be careful in the future. Okay. Class representatives and WhatsApp group. So we have already created class representative for the group, that is, can you just name, I think it was Siddhant Yadav, and who was the other girl? Can someone recall her name? Okay. Okay, so WhatsApp group is used to communicate amongst class representatives, coordinator, and head of department for better connectivity. So we have already have this WhatsApp group. We are like connected through WhatsApp, and students can communicate through class representative. First is your class representative. If you have any query, you can ask to the class representative, and the class representative will contact the coordinator if he is not able to solve a particular problem. And if the class representative himself has some problem, then he can directly come to the coordinator and head of the department for better solving of problems. Class representatives officially represent their class, acting as a link to improve teaching, learning, assessment, and academic services. Most probably for academic services, because sometimes we are not available at all times in the university. And yeah, Maria Khan is the second CR. Okay, so Siddhant Yadav and Maria Khan. As a link to improve, yes, academic services like for pre-registrations and informing students about the classes, all these you have to like take care of for the rest of the other classes as well. So in the meantime, I just wanted to inform you that we have two students, two foreign students also amongst us from Tanzania. That is, one of them is Prosper, and the other guy and the girl is Sophia, I think, Safia or Sophia. So these two people will also be studying with us from Tanzania, and that is all from my side. If you have any queries, you can ask me now, and so otherwise I'll have to like Mr. Zohaib Hasan Khan will discuss with you about the code of conduct.
Good afternoon, everyone. Respected Honorable Chancellor, Co-Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, Dean, HOD, colleagues, our guests, parents, and dear students. On behalf of Antigua University and on my own behalf, I, Zohaib Hasan Khan, Assistant Proctor and Program Coordinator in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, takes the honor of extending a warm welcome to all of you as we have gathered here for the online orientation program for UG and PG students. I will discuss the code of conduct of the university and general guidelines that students have to maintain inside the university. Students must maintain high standard of decorum in their attitude and behavior. They should carry their ID cards while they are in the university premises. They are also expected to pay respect to their elders and teachers, which is in line with our culture. Students must not indulge in any types of quarreling or fighting or any other indecent verbal or physical activity. Several disciplinary action will be taken in all such cases. There may lead to suspension or even rustication of the concerned student from the university. Ragging is against the norms of civilized society and has been declared criminal offence by Apex Court of India. Ragging is banned in the university and will attract severe exemplary punishments. Any type of indecent, disruptive behavior under the pretext of any festival celebration is not permitted and will result into disciplinary action. Mobile phones and or any other electronic gadgets are to be switched off during academic or any kind of curricular, co-curricular or extracurricular activities, including examination. Possession of firearms like threatening, weapons, involvement in any group, gang, fighting will lead to the restriction of the students. Students are allowed to wear only formal and decent dress. No sleepers are permitted. Outside, any friends of any student are not allowed to enter university premises without the permission of the authority concerned. Students are not permitted to take out any possession nor stage any sit-up under any circumstances. This will lead to their rustication. If student is found involved in activities resulting in the direct or indirect loss, damage to the university, the same shall be done by the student. She will ask to compensate the university for the same action. Students, if found roaming in corridors, sitting outside lecture rooms, halls, labs, or any other place of the university campus during the lecture, tutorial, practical lab, will be treated as violation of code of conduct and will lead to the disciplinary action. Students boarding in hostels are expected to remain in the university academic area except lunch time and attendance class as per timetable of their curriculum. Permission to stay in hostels for medical reasons is to be taken from HOD or provost. Now with these points, I request all the students to keep and abide the rules and guidelines of the university and stay in discipline. Now, there are two annexures by the university that the students have to fill the form. One is regarding the ragging and other is kept by the parents of the student for the same ragging if he states. So you need to fill these two forms and submit to the program coordinator or course coordinator of the concerned department in the ECE department. Okay. Again, I welcome all of you in the audition program and I switch to the Piyush sir for further proceeding. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, students, we have next amongst us Dr. Shrish Bajpai. He'll be your timetable coordinator and he'll be discussing about some of the key points about the timetable and how you have to follow it. Okay, so next is Dr. Shrish Bajpai.
Hello, my voice is coming or not? Piyush, you can hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Okay, student. Welcome to you to Integral University, and I am a timetable coordinator for the department. I am Dr. Shirish Bajpai, Assistant Professor in Electronics and Communication Engineering Department. You can get the timetable from the departmental website, which is link is iul.ac.in/ec. There are multiple tabs on the top of the departmental website. For the timetable, you need to click student. When you click student, there are the 4 different tabs are there: ordinance, timetable, and 2 other tabs are also there. For the timetable, you need to click the timetable tab. When you click the timetable, there are the different timetables are there. For the first year, for the first year, you need to click EC first year. For CIS, SPV, BME, you need to follow the same timetable. This is a timetable for the first year for the online classes. Online classes are happen for 1 hour. For the practical, the classes will happen for 2 hours. Between 2 online classes, there is a 30-minute break is there. So from the ordinance, you can see that from the ordinance, you already know that you have 5 subjects are there. So so each subject have the code. Here you can see that the time is defined in this place. For the second lecture, it will start at 10:30 and it will concluded at 11:30. This is the subject code EC 101. This subject will be taken by Dr. Piyush Charan, who is also the course coordinator for your class. So his code name, short name is here PC. So in this part, we need to put the location of the class because the online teaching is going on. So just we put the online first year EC class. If the regular class is going on, the classroom name will be here. This is a lab timing. So lab timing have a 2 continuous period or 3 continuous period. You can get the link of the online class through the announcement or from the WhatsApp page. The faculty will paste the web link of the class through on the announcement section and the class WhatsApp page. You can see your attendance in this attendance tab in ILI platform. This is uh, a subject page. When you click any subject, you will able to see this kind of window. So when you click the attendance, you will get the detail about your classes. So here the lecture date is mentioned, and the time, it is a regular class or remedial class, and what is your status. If you present, you will get 100%, 2 by 2 or 1 by 2. If you absent, you will get 0 by 1 or 0 by 2. So all the status you can see about the attendance at the ILI portal. This is all from my end. Happy learning. Piyush Charan, I am going to Piyush, it is end from my end.
Okay, students, we have amongst us one of our alumni, Mr. Salman Ali, and he'll be like interacting with you for a moment, and he'll be sharing his experience with you. So just listen to him very carefully.
Good morning to all my friends. I'm very glad that you have taken admission in Integral University. So, as I think, as I am, so you guys must have some dreams in your eyes that you will go for a degree in engineering. So, just like you, I was also like you in first year. So, when I joined, I was a bit confused that whether I have taken the good branch, or maybe I'm a bit confused that whether I can be cope up with all those courses and all. But after joining, I realized that here the faculties are just like the parents. I was a hostler, so my home is far away from me. So here the faculties are too supporting. They usually support if you have any, you support you in academics, emotionally, and they also guide you in for the future prospects. So when I joined in this university, I found various kind of people coming from different areas, different cultures, and the teachers are too supportive. And after completing a completion of your course, you will get opportunities also to get placed in various institutions of various companies. And here the faculties also help you in dealing with all those stuff. Okay. So my experience was pretty good in dealing with all those. And here, suppose I've just joined after completion of my seventh semester. I've got in nobroker.com in Bangalore. So I just done job maybe 2 to 3 months, and I don't found job of my type. So I just left it and joined HP Computers. Okay. So after that, the lockdown came, and I just came back to my home, and I started my own startup. During my course, also I have also gone through a startup. So during all those, my teachers also helped me to just give me emotional support to deal with all startups and all. So in a nutshell, I want to explain that by joining this course, and especially electronics department, because I am from electronics, I've just passed in 2020. So the teachers are pretty good. Okay, they will help you in all kind of emotional and academics, and you won't face any problem in your any kind of opinion. I don't think so. So my achievement till now is what I have got from here, what I have learned from Integral University, the special electronics department, is helping me in my current job profile, and I have just started my own startup. So all those come from here only. So my best wishes for you guys that you just go through all this, take the help of the teachers, and you will surely come out with flying colors. Thank you.
Thank you, Salman, for those inspiring words for the newly joined students. Uh, Students, we have like some of you must be having some problems regarding the iLive portal, how to access that iLive portal. So this coming lecture will be on based on that, and let me just present my screen to all of you. Zoeb sir, can you just switch off your camera? So we have the university owns our own ILI, or the learning management system, that is known as the ILI, Integral Learning Initiative. So this was coined by the professor Dr. Naimur Rahman Kidwai. He is also your HOD, and the entire credit goes to our department for launching this learning management system in our department. So let me just give you a brief introduction how this ILI platform works, and how you can access the courses and various categories of courses that you are having. Okay. So let me first give you a brief introduction. ILI is a dedicated application software for performing academic activity with focus on assignments, quizzes, dedicated and personalized report generations. So whatever assignments you will be posted, you will have to like present those assignments, quizzes, and based on that, the concerned teacher will evaluate you on various like evaluating them, and these marks will be recorded online on this portal. It is a web-based application which is deployed at cloud servers, which ensures the overall security aspects of this application software. So you can do one thing, that you can also download its app. There is an app called Moodle, and on Moodle app you can enroll like mobile app, and you have to enter the ILI zone email, the web address, and you can also download it on your phone. So the summary report of ILI portal is that the number of students enrolled as of date is 9,000. Number of staff is 603. Courses and sections there is 40. Departments is 48. So how to access ILI portal? So our website page, where you can, on the top corner, you can see this ILI logo is there. You have to click this ILI, click at ILI option available at our website as given below in the red color box. So this box is showing your ILI icon, in which you can click and you can access the ILI portal, or you can directly use this URL that is there in resource locator, ilizone.iol.ac.in. You can type this on your browser and you can access the ILI zone portal. So this looks like this somehow. And log into ILI. Students can log into ILI portal using their login credentials. You have been provided with your enrollment number, that is your username, and the password, that the default password is user123#, where the U is a capital. Okay. Students are advised to change their password. You can change their password so that nobody else can access it other than you. Only you should access. Okay. So we encourage also that you change your password. Whenever you log in for the first time, first thing is that you change your password. Okay. So this is your login page. This will look like something like this, and you have to enter your username and password. The username I've already told you, that is the enrollment number, and the password will be your default password that I've already explained. Then there is a personal dashboard. After successful login, students will be directed to their respective dashboards. From the dashboard, students can access attendance, subject details, assignment, syllabus, study material, discussion forum, quiz, and unit-wise exam and feedback forms. So this LMS is designed in such a way that it also inculcates or infuses peer learning, and this is possible through discussion forums. Discussion forum is a very good platform for you all to explore, and you can learn amongst your peers. You can discuss some questions, you can start your own conversation with the students, and you can elaborate or enhance your learning. Okay. So this is how your dashboard will look. This is a student dashboard, typical student dashboard, and this are your course name, and it is viewed in this card form. So these are your this is the view. You can also access the same course from the subject codes. These are the subject names. You'll be seeing the cards here, and you can also access the same course through the subject codes that are available at the left-hand corner. Okay. How to change the password? Once you log in, you have to enrollment numbers are used to log in. And once you log in, you click on your profile picture, and this option will pop down, and it will show you dashboard, profile, grades, messages, preferences, and logout. So you have to click on the preferences option. Once you click on the preferences option, you'll be able to share your change your password there. Okay. So click at the subject you want to see or explore the content. So how you see the content is by clicking on a particular subject. Once you click on a subject, you have to click on the subject card to access. This is the subject card, and suppose you have to log into this particular subject, circuit theory, BTech second year EC. So you have to click on this course, and it will land you on the course page. Okay. A typical course page will look like this. All the required options related to particular subject are available on its respective page. So you will be seeing here a welcome address, like welcome to the course on electronic devices and circuits. This will be a welcome message, and it is available on the course page that has been designed so far. And teachers may or may not share their timetable on the same page. This is the another thing. Then there are various options that are available, like subject details, syllabus, announcements, queries, and attendance section. So syllabus I have added as an image also, and also as a PDF. So you can access the syllabus from here. The announcements, the important announcements will be there in the announcement section. If you have any queries and issues, you can post your queries here, and it will be the respective teacher. You can have the attendance, because it will be used every day. You have to mark your own, have the option that their own attendance, and the others will have the option that they will mark your attendance manually. So there are two online meeting apps there. That is the Big Blue Button. This is the Big Blue Button meeting app, and this one is the Jitsi or the Hello app. Okay, so this is there. Then you program specific outcomes, program outcomes, course outcomes, and there is a mapping that is also given in each course that you can see, and it will reflect on what you are learning and what the course intends you to learn. Okay, you can just keep a track of your learning. Okay, then unit wise it is divided. Your course will be divided into 5 units. So suppose, like I have shown you here, unit 1 is PN junction and special diodes. So there is this introduction is there, and then the relevant notes of this unit are in the link below. Okay. So you can click on these notes and various notes icons that are there, and you can download in the PDF form. Some PPTs will also be shared. Most of the Okay, am I audible? Okay, so we were discussing about this course page, where you can see that under the category of Unit 1, there are various notes available. Then numerical problems, some teachers may or may not add some numerical problems for you. Then you have a dedicated discussion forum. I've already discussed about the advantages of discussion forum. It induces peer learning, and it will also induce your enhance your learning experience, because what you'll be sharing is that you'll be experiencing, and this is the main objective, the discussion forum. Okay, then you are given a practice quiz. Each unit will have a practice quiz. A teacher may or may not give you practice quiz to just for the sake of how you access the unit exam. It will be based MCQ based, or there may be questions like long answer, short answer questions will also be there. Okay, then there is this unit exam 1. So once you have completed the practice quiz unit 1, you will have to appear in the unit exam 1. This will be informed prior to access by your subject teachers, and they will tell you when to access it and complete your exam. Okay, the other thing is that once you have completed your unit exam, you will have to submit a feedback. feedback for the particular unit, how you learned and the process, and after like completing the unit, did you learn what you were intended to learn? That is based on this feedback. Okay. Accessing the attendance. So attendance can be accessed from this icon. You can identify this icon in your portal itself. Attendance can be easily marked from then and there. Click at the given icon as shown in the image. Once you open this attendance link, you will be redirected to the particular date on which your lecture is being like prepared, and you have to mark your attendance then and there. Okay. How to attempt the quizzes? So quizzes you can appear there are two types of quizzes. I already told you: practice quiz and unit exam one. The quizzes will be there, and every unit has one practice quiz and the one unit exam quiz. To attempt the quiz, student has to click at the unit first and then click either of the two quizzes, that is either the practice quiz or the unit test. Okay, so there is a general course completion criteria also available here, where students can upload assignments by clicking at the respective assignment under the general course category, course completion category. Okay, so assignment 1 and 2 both can be accessed from here. General instructions for you are that all students are hereby informed the following points. In every unit, there will be practice quiz, assignments, unit tests, etc., which are mandatory for all to fill. Students must be logged to ILI portal with at least 5 minutes before the commencement of class. In case of any discrepancy, student may contact the faculty through portal or in person. For any queries about the ILI portal, we have a dedicated cell known as the ILI cell. You can contact to them through the intercom number or the extension that we have 2025, and you can also drop a mail at ili@iul.ac.in. So all your queries related to login, your login credentials, and anything regarding on the ILI portal can be solved by mailing on either of the two options, by either mailing or by calling in person from this extension. I request all the students to turn on their cameras so that we can also see them, because this is our very first interaction. Maria Khan, Siddhant, who is this? Muhammad Arshad. Where are the rest? Siddhant Yadav is there now. Pooja Gaur is there. Pratyush, okay. Pratyush, you are in which course? You are in PG course?
ECS, sir. Electronic Circuit and System, MTech first year.
Yeah, okay. So BTech students, we have MTech students as well here. So do you have any query, Pratyush?
Yes, sir. When I'm joining in ILI zone, I'm not finding anything. So is it like only graduation courses are there still?
No. It is not like that. It is because of the your subjects are not added on your portal.
Yeah.
So you contact your program coordinator.
Yes, sir.
Your MTech coordinator is Dr. Imranullah Khan.
Yeah. He's there. Yesterday only he created actually one WhatsApp group, so we are there. I will ask him.
Okay. But slowly and steadily, everything will be in line. Okay. So everything will be taken care of thereafter. Yes. Other than Pratyush, anybody else wants to have some information about them? Annan Ansari, Siddhant.
Yes, sir.
How are you, Siddhant?
Fine, sir.
So, you have any query in your mind?
No, sir, I had, but they are not clear.
Okay. So, your classes will begin from 10th of this month. So, maybe just one day after tomorrow. And so be prepared for all your regular classes, and your subject teachers, like for mathematics, it is a new faculty. I don't know his name right now, but for physics, it will be Dr. Seema Srivastava. For basic electronics, I'll be taking your class for basic electronics. And for languages, there is one professional communication subject. That class will be taken by Dr. Mohammad Wahaj Mohsin. Okay. And the other subject is, I think so, physics. Mechanical labs are there, workshops and labs. So there are two teachers, Mohammad Anas, Dr. Mohammad Anas, and Dr. Shanawaz Alam in mechanical department. We'll take your subjects there. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And one more subject is there, I think, basic electrical. I'm sorry, how can I forget basic electrical? Basic electrical engineering will be taken by Miss Amreen Siddiqui, electrical department.
Okay, sir.
Miss Amreen Siddiqui, okay? So
Yes.
she'll be taking your classes on basic electrical engineering.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Sir, is there any update on MTech classes when they will start?
Same 10th of October, 10th of this month, December. 10th
Okay, sir.
December.
So now it's starting online only. Any clarification that when we are gonna attend offline classes?
Offline classes will be only after you get a booster shot of your vaccine.
Okay,
So
sir.
we are waiting for that. But still, some of the classes may or may not run offline, because if you have like MTech classes, the number of students are less, and
Yes, sir,
so
yes,
we
sir.
can have that session as well.
Yeah,
Can have it
actually, why I'm
offline.
asking, because in so many colleges, even my other friends are there, so they are like MTech or PhD के लिए classes are going on. So
Mhm.
that's why I asked.
Yeah, we can have them offline, but
But for now, it's actually starting online, right?
again, offline class. For you. So online orientation program today, and hopefully all queries must have been solved. And may you have a bright future ahead of you, who are going to study in this university. You have made a right choice about your careers, and definitely this will take you to different level.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much. I'll take you all a leave. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.